Hello, 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 and welcome back to That Quirky Bird Girl. I am your host, and you guessed it, y'all. I am here in Central Park, New York City, and I've got this beautiful skyline behind me. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the birds, okay? And if you come to Sheep Meadow here in Central Park, I want to tell you what birds you're going to see while you're chilling, okay? All right, so a few birds. Let's get into the ones that aren't native first, because those ones, they're practically everywhere. So you have the European starlings, and if you're looking at them towards late summer, they're going to be looking a little funky. Okay, so you have the adults that are all black, and sometimes they'll have a bright yellow beak really outside of the breeding season. So that won't be the case right now, but normally when it is the breeding season, which is like winter and spring, you'll see them with that yellow beak. All that to say, they're blackbirds, and then the young are almost like this like dull brown bird. They look like gray, they look like brown-headed cowbirds, but females. And so you can see those practically everywhere. I mean, there's a bunch all over the city, but especially in Central Park. And then you're going to see rock pigeons. And if you've never seen a rock pigeon, yes, you have. They're your city pigeons, your urban pigeons, your farm pigeons. They're practically everywhere. They're not native to here. The Egyptians domesticated them. You heard that right. They're domesticated. And now they live on our streets, even though they're supposed to cuddle in our arms. It's a tragic story. I'm obsessed. It's fine. No, it's not. Let's get them off the streets, you guys. There are foster places like the Great Lakes. A pigeon rescue is always looking for fosters. So if you wonder what it's like to have a pigeon, look no further than there. I swear I just heard a bug. Not sure. Hopefully it didn't land on me. Well, I digress. So rock pigeons, they're amazing. One of my favorite birds, but not everyone loves them. Whatever. So second bird. The third bird is a house sparrow, and those bad boys come in two colors. And I said boys, but girl, the female is a like dull brownish color with like some lighter patches of brown down and through her wings. And then the male is like a little bit of a darker brown, and then he'll have a black patch on his chest. Now, interesting thing about house sparrows is that black patch will actually tell you what their social order is. So if you see like a specific house sparrow that's being like incredibly aggressive in one area and the other birds are just kind of like accepting it, or you see like birds are being fed and a house sparrow joins and then a bunch of other house sparrows will leave, or specifically the males I've seen it happen with. Like that is a reflection of the I guess the bird culture of them having these black patches that tells them about the order. Okay, so those are three birds. They're not native to Central Park, but they're probably some of the more common ones. Now, if you open up your ears, you're going to hear a bunch of blue jays. They are so loud, so vocal, literally all throughout. And usually you'll see them like at the top of trees. And fun fact about blue jays is they actually aren't blue. They're like a duller gray. And that duller gray actually is like via our eyes, and like I believe even like the reflection from their feathers, like the way that the light refracts on their feathers, like allows us to interpret it as blue. But another fun fact, there are no true blue birds. So blue jays, that's one bird. And then another bird that you could hear, and this one is usually heard doing like a very high pitched whistle. And it's long, but it's a northern cardinal, the bright red birds that you're most commonly seeing through Christmas. And it always gets a little giggle out of me. I wish there was more representation for the female northern cardinals, but that day will come. That day will come. One day, y'all, I will have some sort of like board game where the females are like the drivers. Okay. I feel like there's so much beauty in female birds, and we just get cards of male birds and we get plushes of male birds. Like, where are our plushes of female birds? Okay. And I'm talking specifically to Cornell and Wild Republic. Why have you not come out with female plushes? Okay, I digress. Northern Cardinal. Another bird you could see flying high above you, if you were to look up, is the ring-billed gull. Now, they're going to have like a very interesting, like backwards U-shape wing, and that's one way to tell them. They're probably going back and forth of the reservoir. And those birds are well known for roosting here in New York City, but specifically Brooklyn. And you can see a bunch of them here in Central Park too, if you were to go up to, again, the reservoir. But you'll see them flying high above us. Another bird, cousin to the rock pigeon, is the mourning dove. And oh my gosh, you guys, I feel like we talk about the mourning dove so much on my page, and I'm never upset about this, okay? Always happy about it. I love a mourning dove. I think their dark brown spots are so beautiful. I love that they have like these bright, bright, bright pink feet in the middle of like brown. I feel like that's kind of my like the way that I dress usually. Like I wear mostly browns, like obviously like brown, like I wear brown for the most part, and then I love like a pop of color. And so I don't know, I see some of me in them. And I also think they're goofy, funny, silly. And I also love how predictable they are. Like especially here in Central Park, you'll notice that they literally have a schedule where they're out foraging like bright and early in the morning. And then in like mid-afternoon, they've all like decided to like get together and they'll hang out in one big tree for a few hours. And then at about 4 o'clock, they're back outside foraging again. And you'll see them like in larger groups, but they look a little slower, let's say. They're going a little slower, which is fun to watch, just the differences in behavior. Another really good bird. Oh my gosh, the dragonflies are so big here, you guys. Another bird that you could see, speaking of dragonflies, is a bird that eats the dragonflies, and it is the great blue heron. Ugh, those bad boys will leap forward, get a good of our dragonflies, and then run away. I remember in Chicago, I used to sit by this one little pond, and oh my gosh. And this dragonfly is huge. They're so big. They literally look like two dragonflies, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Someone said monarch butterflies are also passing through the city. I don't know. I haven't seen a single one, but fingers crossed they're making their way down to Mexico. And hopefully there's a large group of them. I know they were just removed from the endangered list, so hopefully it stays that way. I know it's like a year by year thing because I don't think they live terribly long once they get down to Mexico. Well, okay, I digress. That is butterflies. This is birds. You could also see common grackles, which if you've never seen a common grackle, they're basically like, and they look like an American crow. They're slightly smaller, make them like more slender as well. And then they'll have a different eye. So they'll have a little bit of like a ring around their eye. And then the males and females all also look different from one another. So the males will be this like stunning iridescent black, purple, green. They're just like really beautiful. And they have this like line around their neck where like their cap just looks completely different. And then the females will have this like darker brown or like duller brown. And they're just really stunning. So one of my favorites. Saw a few of those actually yesterday when I was leading a bird tour. So much fun, you guys. If you are in New York City, I lead tours for like communities. So I'm doing a few in Central Park and Prospect Park. And then I'm also going to be doing a few tours in San Francisco and Seattle. So if you're in any of those cities, be sure to check it out. The link is in my bio. And then I want to close us off on one more bird that you could see. And it is the barn swallow. And if you've never seen a barn swallow, they are absolutely one of my favorites. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're the swallow that you can like classically see with the forked tail. And I know I made that sound so easy to identify, but they literally have a forked tail. Like it literally looks like that. They're so beautiful, and they're little like they do this little like noise as they're fluttering through in the air, and they're really fun to watch. So they are also migratory birds, so they're only here for a limited time. So again, this video is great if you're coming to New York City in the summer, but if it's any other time of the year, there's literally so many birds that you could see. And if you're curious about what birds you could see, check out I have a podcast episode where I walk through Central Park and we see winter birds, and then we saw spring birds. So all of those have been documented also on my TikTok. So check that out if you haven't already. And that's it for today, everyone. I had so much fun coming on here with you all. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful, beautiful background that is behind me. I'm going to have so much fun sitting here. I am reading Let Them. If you've noticed, my content has gotten a little bit more quirky, weird, silly, funny. This is why. or in part why, and it'll continue being that way. So I hope y'all are enjoying as much as I am, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. Love you. Bye.